First of all, it always makes me feel better when the speaker in front of me tells everybody to get a drink. But it's a great honor to speak with you on this special occasion, the launch of the U.S. Mission's social media platform. I'd like to thank the 360-Degree Network for organizing this event. As has already been noted, information now moves around the world at unprecedented speeds. An event in one location spreads across the planet literally in minutes. We get our news in real time from real people. We can respond in real time in ways that could not even have been imagined a few years ago, like 10 or 15 years ago. During his visit to China in November 2009, for example, President Obama responded to a question via the internet. He told listeners, both cyber listeners and physical listeners, the more freely information flows, the stronger societies become. He said information helps citizens hold their governments accountable, generates new ideas, and encourages entrepreneurship. That is why I've come here this evening. Even in Uganda, the world is getting very much smaller. The internet, via cyber cafes and smartphones, is everywhere, from a village in Arua to here in Kampala. Amid this surge of connectivity, there are, however, a few dangers. Some will exploit technology to undermine progress. The same networks that help organize movements for freedom can also enable groups like Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab to incite violence against the innocent. Technologies that open up access to government and promote democracy can also be hijacked by governments to crush dissent or to deny human rights. In the last year, we've seen a spike in threats to the free flow of information around the world. Several countries have recently increased their censorship of the internet. Recently in Egypt, for example, 30 bloggers and activists were detained for what they put on the web. While it is clear that the spread of technology is transforming our world, it is still unclear how that transformation will affect the human rights and the human welfare of the world's population, everywhere, including here. What is clear, though, is that internet freedom is no different from freedom of religion or the freedom of speech. Internet freedom is becoming the freedom of assembly for the 21st century. Blogs, emails, social networks, and text messages have opened up new forums for exchanging ideas, but they're also creating new targets for censorship. Efforts of some governments to deny their citizens unfettered internet access is no different than the construction of the Berlin Wall. Virtual walls, in some cases, are replacing real walls. Some governments have created electronic barriers to prevent their people from accessing portions of the world's networks and have expunged words, names, and phrases from search engines because they did not like them. These actions violate the privacy of citizens who engage in nonviolent political speech. They contravene the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which tells us that all people have the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of borders. These actions violate, all societies also recognize that free expression has its limits. We cannot tolerate those who incite hate or hate speech that targets individuals on the basis of their race, religion, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. It's all reprehensible and must be condemned in the strongest terms. But these challenges must not become an excuse for governments or individuals to violate the rights and privacy of those who use the internet for peaceful political purposes. As we work to advance freedoms, we must also work against those who use communication networks as tools of disruption and fear. We have to remember also, there are hundreds of millions of people living without the benefit of these technologies. In our world, as Secretary Hillary Clinton recently said, talent may be distributed universally, but opportunity is not. And we know from long experience that promoting social and economic development in countries where people lack access to knowledge or markets or capital or opportunity can be frustrating. In this context, the internet can serve as a great equalizer, especially in the developing world. By providing people with access to knowledge and potential markets, social networks can create opportunity where none had existed before. Examples like the farmer, who could now use a cell phone application to find out the current market price for his produce in order to sell it at the right time and maximize his earnings, have a direct impact here in Uganda. A connection to global information networks is like an on-ramp to modernity that can help people out of poverty. To support all of this, I'm announcing that the U.S. mission to Uganda has launched a new social media platform. The mission has created a Facebook page as well as channels on Twitter, Flickr, and YouTube. We take this initiative to open a more free and transparent dialogue on key issues with and between the people of Uganda. We want to hear what you have to say. We want you to communicate with each other. Now, we realize that when we hear what you have to say, you may not always agree with us, we may not like it, but we need to hear it, and you need to communicate with each other. Whether it's economic, cultural, political, or just whether the Cranes are going to beat the Harambee Stars via social media, all Ugandans can have their voices heard. And the U.S. mission wants to be a part of that discussion. I invite all of you to visit these pages, which you see displayed around this venue this evening, and to communicate with us on issues of importance to you. Pursuing the freedoms I've talked about this evening is, I believe, the right thing to do. By advancing this agenda, we align our principles, our economic goals, and our strategic priorities. Social media is simply changing the way the world works. It is important that Uganda not be left behind. And by virtue of your presence here tonight, you are part of this really dynamic new frontier. And we want to be a part of it. We want to help you be a part of it. So let us make these technologies a force for progress in Uganda and in the region. Let us go forward together to champion the internet freedom for our time and use social media to create a more level playing field for our young people who deserve every opportunity we can give them. Thank you very much for coming tonight, and thank you for listening, and we look forward to meeting you on the net.